Okay, so I just want to say something about one of our sponsors, the Charles Cox Property Group. They are specialists in property management, block management, lettings and property development. Their specialist property managers provide expert block management as well as residential lettings, acquisitions, development opportunities and surveying services. They cover the South Coast towns including Brighton, Hove, Eastbourne and London, and manage properties in East and West Sussex and Surrey. Charles Cox is headed up by Matthew Cox, who also runs a non-for-profit YouTube channel to help entrepreneurs go from stuck to unstoppable with real advice, tips and stories. Check out charlescox.co.uk. And now we'll head back to the podcast. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to A Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Hansa Raja, who is the founder of Holding Space Charity. Hello, Hansa.
Hi, Nick. It's great to be here this afternoon.
Good to see you. It's a lovely day, isn't it, out there? We're stuck in here, but it's nice to see you.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to complain about the weather.
No, we're not.
It's gorgeous.
No, it is lovely, isn't it? A little bit about Holding Space and a bit of background. Now, you offer parent peer support to families whose children are struggling with their mental health. Mm-hmm. It's a safe place, a non-judgmental space to come together and know that you're not alone. Now, I've spoken to you before about this. Now, you've had this firsthand with your daughter, haven't you, with mental health issues. So if you wouldn't mind, let's start by your story and tell us how you got to where you are and why you're doing this.
Yeah, no, of course. So sadly, my daughter struggled with her mental health and it was quite severe. She was self-harming, she was overdosing. We just didn't get any support at all. So, trying to get NHS support, it was... As a parent, I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And there's no Bible for parenting out there. You kind of do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have. But when your child's ill, you just want someone to wrap that support around you.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't get any of that support. I felt really alone. I felt like I'd failed. I've got 3 children, but I still feel like I'd failed my child. And when I did go asking for support, I was told to go on a parenting course. And I was like, great, thanks. Why would you feel like a failure? Now you're telling me it's my fault. It's my problem. And parents don't need to hear that.
No.
They really don't. So no plans to run a charity. I went looking for support for me. So I set a Facebook page up and that went viral.
Okay.
And there were so many other parents out there. That was in the September, COVID hit in the March.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I was at home on my own trying to suddenly cope with this demand for support. Managed for 2 years in my front room.
Yeah.
And parents just want to be heard. They want to be listened to. We know our children better than anybody and we're crying out for support, but nobody's listening to us.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. It's about listening to the parent and seeing what support they need. Okay. And I haven't got the answers. I can't fix the journey, but together we can walk that journey and together you'll be supported. And as you said earlier, you're not alone. In the 5 years we've been going, we've had 1,000 parents through our door.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's interesting that when you go for professional help, you don't really get any, but when you reach out to the local community, you get loads of help, which is what you're building on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's that parents working with each other. It's about parents supporting each other. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I've got my lived experience. But together we can share our experiences. We can support each other. We can share strategies that have worked. And it is just being in that safe space where parents can talk to each other. Yeah. You just kind of feel connected and suddenly you're like, this isn't just me. I haven't got it wrong. And I'm not the only parent
be a relief,
going through this.
Yeah,
definitely.
So do you have like a space where people can come in and just chat and get together and that sort of thing? Yeah.
So we're in High Garden in the centre of Eastbourne, and the reason for that is I want to get mental health on the high street. I want to destigmatise those conversations. So our door is always open. You can just knock on the door, come and have a chat, come and get some support, and we can start that journey with you. And so we do, and we also run coffee mornings, we run coffee evenings. We often invite speakers to those because it's about empowering parents. And if you think about any illness, the more knowledge you've got about it, the better equipped you are to support that person. And it's the same with mental health, but because it's hidden, because we can't see it's not a physical illness.
Yeah.
You don't get that support.
I know.
And that's what we provide, and that saves space, yeah.
Are people nervous about coming to you, do you think, about owning up to the problems that they're facing? Because it's the British stiff upper lip sometimes, isn't it? Do you find that? Or
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think, I wish it had been around when I was going through my journey, but would I have taken that first step? It's a really hard step to take, to go through that front door.
Yeah.
But hopefully when they meet us, they meet the team, it is very much, I want to have this image of sitting in your front lounge.
Yes.
We have sofas in our office,
okay.
and that's what it's about. You're just sitting in your lounge with friends that can support you and have a chat.
Problem half to the problem.
Yeah,
problem
definitely.
shared, problem
and
half.
sometimes we just talk about anything or on anything.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily focusing on the problem.
Yeah.
It's about saying, let's just not forget the problem, but let's give ourselves some space. Let's be kind to ourselves. And actually, let's just chat about life. That a lot of our parents don't get that opportunity to have that time because they're so focused on their child. They, some of them are full-time carers.
Yeah,
so
right.
they can't even get out of the house. So it just gives them that space to be them.
Yeah,
to be not a parent for a while.
Nice.
You
Now you must live off donations, or the charity must be, because you probably try and run it like a business. I would have thought.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved and raise money? Is lots of things they can do?
Yeah, so as a charity, we rely completely on grant funding. I think
Okay.
most charities do that, and this year is a real struggle. It is like a business. Everyone does need money, but sometimes if people can offer their expertise and skills.
Right.
So we're a really small volunteer team, so I don't have an events manager, I don't have a social media manager.
Okay.
So sometimes, there's people out there that have got skills, and they might want to volunteer those skills. That's so valuable to small charities, to have that expertise, as well as the fundraising, as well as corporate sponsorship. So, and volunteering.
Yeah. I've done a few podcasts with charities, and it seems to be the most important topic is getting volunteers to actually help. Give up their weekends, give up their spare time. That's a challenge, isn't it?
It is, because cost of living crisis, everyone's working. And pre-COVID as well, we all volunteered. And I think at the moment there is that kind of, either they're working, they're having to work, or people just don't have that headspace at the moment to volunteer as much as they'd like to. But, a couple of hours a week, it doesn't need to be a full day, it doesn't need to be, too time consuming.
Yeah.
But if people got a couple of hours a week, they don't have to have a background in mental health.
Okay.
They don't, if you're a parent and you're listening to this and you can offer that support, great.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have that mental health background. Because for me, everyone has skills. Everyone's got expertise that they can
bring to the table.
Bring to the table, as you do in business.
Yes, you
Exactly
have those different
same.
dynamics, don't you?
Yeah.
And do you just help people in the Eastbourne area, or do you go out further afield?
We cover East Sussex.
Okay,
So,
right.
we've got a couple of parents in West Sussex and Brighton, but predominantly we're East Sussex based, so across the board.
And all your events are in this area, like the coffee mornings. Are they at local hotels or?
No, we're in our office.
They're in
so
your,
everything's held in our office,
Right.
and there's no public access to it. So again, it's that space that if you just do get upset or you need that time, nobody's going to walk through that door.
Yeah.
So we're really lucky where we are.
Yeah, it's a nice space in High Gardens, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you work with like other support groups? I don't know, Samaritans and things like that. Just in case you need to refer to other organisations.
Definitely. For me, it's all about partnership working because we're all supporting the same community, and I think the more we can all work together, the more we're going to achieve. And we're always signposting. And again, on my journey, I didn't know what was out there. I hadn't got a clue. The stuff I know now wasn't
available.
Freely available. It's not out there just to find. And you spend hours Googling, and then you end up down this rabbit hole, and a lot of it's American, and so for us it's about making sure that family's got the wraparound support and the expertise around them to support them and their child and young person as well. Yeah.
And your journey from doing this, has this helped you with how you help with your daughter by learning all this, obviously?
Yeah, definitely. It's
is she okay
me,
now?
And she's getting
it's
there.
ongoing, I guess, mental health, isn't it?
Yeah, she's getting there, and it's definitely helped me. I've had therapy, so I'm always saying to people it's okay to reach out for support. It's okay to have therapy. I think we still have that little bit of stigma in England.
I think we do.
I'm seeing a counsellor, I'm in therapy. Actually, no, probably probably no different to business mentoring, you know, probably a bit more intense.
Yeah.
But we all need support, we all need help, and it's taken me a long time to get on that journey and actually reach out for support.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to sit here and share my story.
Oh, really?
You.
Okay.
No, I was too ashamed because I just felt like I'd failed.
It's great. It's crazy, isn't it? You used the word there, ashamed.
Yeah.
I think that is mental in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. And as a parent, you do. You just think, you know, you're there to protect your child. You're meant to, you know, make them happy, and you're meant to give them the best life. And when they're suddenly struggling, you really do go in on yourself and think, where have I gone wrong? And I think the message is that we don't go wrong.
No.
We do. I remember my therapist saying to me, you're doing the best that you can with the knowledge that you have.
Yeah. You need to give yourself that pat on the back, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself.
That's really good advice. Just moving on to how you raise the profile of business in the area. You do a lot of networking. I see you at almost every networking event I'm at.
That means you're there as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's important to both of us to get the word out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you have to. I think it's we're competing against big charities as well, and I think those small charities need that space to be able to promote themselves. So networking, doing podcasts like this, you know, sharing my story. So I'm always open to anyone that wants to hear my story. And for me, if one person hears this and they reach out for support, I've done my job.
Yeah, you have, haven't you?
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
you know?
Do you hold a ball every year or something like that? Or
fundraising dinner.
Fundraising dinner, that's it. Yeah. Have you got any events like that coming up?
We'll have a Christmas fair coming up.
Okay.
So we do our fundraising dinner once a year. So we're about to set the date for next year.
Nice.
And then we're doing Pride in July.
Right.
We'll have a Christmas fair. But again, we're just such a small team. So it's putting on events takes a lot of work.
Yeah. And you were telling me you're at the Sussex Business Awards tonight. Is it Business
Friday
Awards?
Night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck with that. You definitely deserve it.
You.
And some kind person has donated you to be in the awards, haven't they?
Yeah, we've been nominated for 2 awards. So the Community Champion and the Equality Trailblazer. So 2 people have nominated us, which is great recognition.
Yes.
Again, for small charities, that real recognition to, you know, somebody's recognised the work we're doing. So fingers crossed.
That's well done. So, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, and I do ask this to a lot of people, but what do you enjoy about it the most, about what you do? What's the best thing you get from it? I know it's helping people, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just having that space to listen to somebody. We all need to be heard.
Yeah.
And we all, you know, we don't do that enough. You know, we talk to each other, but do you really listen to what somebody's saying? I think that's what we do.
Okay.
We really hear. For me, it's hearing the voice of the parent.
Yeah.
And that voice matters.
Yeah.
And that's what my passion is.
Nice.
That no one should ever go through this journey alone. Just being heard is such a valuable thing that we can do for each other in life.
Yeah.
You know, not just in the work that I do.
Course.
In life, just take that time.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's what drives me.
I think that would probably give a lot of people some warmth, actually, you know, because I think we were talking about the stiff upper lip, you know, a lot of people think, well, I can go and talk to them, but they're not really going to listen to me, you know. But knowing that you guys are there and you will listen is really, really comforting.
And don't ever feel you need to have an answer. I think everyone always thinks, I need to have an answer for that, or I need to be saying something back.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. People just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can do that in your life and with your colleagues, with your friends in business, you know, take that time is what I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so anyone out there that's got any of those issues that we've spoken about, please do get in touch with Hansa at Holding Space. It sounds like a great space to go to offload all your worries and your mental health issues. But moving on to the important thing, which is donations. So people can get involved by going on the website. There's a button that they can click to donate, isn't there?
Yeah. So, you know, monthly donations, even if it's, you know, £2, £5 a month, it really makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
So you can do that through the website, become a friend of Holding Space.
Okay.
You get invited to our events and newsletters like that. And all the money goes straight into family support.
Excellent.
So it's, you know, we've all got overheads, of course we have.
Yeah, sure.
But our money definitely it just goes straight to supporting our children, young people and our families
Okay.
and the groups that we run.
Right, okay.
So every penny makes a massive difference.
Yes, I can imagine it does. Yeah. Well, thanks, Hansa. That's been really good.
Thank you.
Your passion comes through, and you obviously do an amazing job in helping people.
Thank you
We
so
need
much.
more people like you in the world. Don't we just?
That's really kind of you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. So if anyone wants to get in touch, please do get in touch. Is it holdingspace.co.uk?
.org.uk.
I'll put those details underneath the podcast, and you can get in touch with them if you need to. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
That's okay. And we'll see you all for another podcast soon. Thank you.